Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Fresh Crits of Melbourne. Do we have a cracking episode for you this week? We have just opened up the sprint. Is this the opportunity? Is this the number one chance that I win my first ever A-grade race at Glenvale? It is neck and neck. We throw for the line. Who knows how this one's going to play out, ladies and gentlemen? Stick around to find out. We are skipping straight into this race because that's what we like to do is we don't like to fluff around here at Fresh Crits. It's straight into the action. That's what we're doing right here, right today. 33 minutes into this race we're at. And second race of Glenvale. So the racing has been hard and fast. The guys have been training hard over the winter period, and they're coming to Glenvale full gas, full force, and ready to rock and roll and prove themselves back again in A grade. So the reason why I wanted to skip into the 33 minutes is there's little breaks going all day. There's been little moves going up the road constantly. They're getting brought back. But right now is where there are cracks starting to appear in the peloton. And this is something for everybody that does like a bit of racing needs to be paying attention to when they're racing at any crit race, being Glenvale, Footscray, St Kilda, or even down in Hawthorn. As soon as you see the peloton strung out like it is right now with little gaps, see how there's like almost, you could say, one bike length between almost every individual rider. As soon as you start seeing that, they're the cracks that are starting to appear. And generally, obviously not always, they start to happen at the 30-minute mark. Now, don't quote me on that, but it almost does. Whenever it gets halfway into the race, that's when the cracks start to happen. So if you've been sitting out the back all day, just like taking it easy, chatting with your mates, having a jolly old good time, if you look down at your Garmin and you see 30 minutes appearing on the Garmin on elapsed time for that race, it's time to get your ass to the front because the race is going to start getting spicy. And that's exactly what's happening here. You can see there's a little bit of pace being generated. Speedy here. Look at this black rider. He's starting to get up onto the front and you can see there's a lot of looking around. Now, the breakaway itself has to have the right makeup of riders. You got to consider if there's teams in the race, are there certain teams that are jumping across into moves? And that's exactly what Speedy does here on the right-hand side. He is a breakaway specialist. I don't care what you say about him. He's a breakaway specialist. He's an opportunist, and he is always in the moves that you want to be in. So he's launched a little fly up the front. He's noticed all these little micro gaps that are starting to appear. So he's gone, I'll have a crack. Let me get involved. He's definitely not going to win a sprint because we're not all sprinters. So if you're the type of rider that isn't going to win a sprint, look for these little micro gaps in the peloton. And when the moment is right, send a move up the road and who knows what's going to happen. It's a lot more fun to be sending moves up there than sitting in the bunch and doing sweet nothing at the end of a race. So now there are little groups. Look at the gap he's got already. That's probably a 5-6 second gap he's got on the peloton. And there's a hell of a lot of looking around. Have a look in the rear cam. Nobody is too motivated to get across. And already you can see that's 4 people now, including Speedy, that have gone off the front and have established a nice little gap. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, could this be the move of the day? Is this the one I sit back in and miss out on and then they ride off up the road and I never see them again? Or is this something that could potentially stick? So it's a constant gamble you're having to play with yourself, because if you send one up the road and you try to chase it back and burn a whole bunch of matches only to be brought back in elapsed time, then, well, you've just burnt yourself for zero reason. But I am going in at about 7 out of 10 with this one. So I get on the front and I have a bit of a dig. I drop it into 500 watts mode and pace it out a little bit. And I'm constantly looking behind to see who's under pressure, who's holding my wheel, are there little gaps forming? And you can see in the rear cam, there are little gaps starting to form as there were before. So this is good signs for me. I wasn't able to get away, but that's all right. There's still plenty of time in the race in order to do that. But keeping the pace high, keeping a lot of these riders' legs under pressure is eventually going to split the group. Now, I'm definitely not going to split it. 100%. No, not a chance am I going to split it. But what I can do is launch little attacks up the road, which stretches the group. And maybe one chance I get, the elastic band snaps and I'm able to sneak off the front and join the rest of those riders up there in a breakaway sprint. Only a minute has elapsed since we last spoke, and those riders are still off the front, although they're definitely in sight. You can see them up the road there, just going around the corner. So they've probably only got a 5-6 second gap in front of us. And do you know what a 5 or 6 second gap could be? It's a nice little leapfrog. It's a nice little carrot to chase. Now, for those that have been watching the channel for a while or know how I like to ride, I am by no means a diesel sort of rider. What I mean by that is threshold 400 watts over to those riders to chase them back. Not at all. Not a chance. Instead, I need people to help me get across. And this is exactly what I mean right now. Jack Marshall has exploded out of the peloton and is bridging across to that little group that's been up the road now for 5 or 6 minutes. And I am going deep to get across. Look at the rear cam. Daylight. They have left me for dead. This is the split. Do not give up. And this is a miserable, miserable chase. Here's one leapfrog here as I tuck in behind him. He's not giving me any sit, so I've just got to keep powering across here, going super deep. I need to close this gap right now because, like I said before, I'm no diesel rider. I need to snap on to Jack, and I need to recover before I can go again. So I am just in his slipstream, but Jack is not making it easy. He's right in the gutter here. The wind's coming from our left-hand side, but I know as soon as I can get around this corner, it's straight into a headwind. I can tuck in behind Jack, and I can find that draft. 184 beats. Well, I've gone very deep for this one. Oh, it's miserable. That is a miserable time right there. But the good news is, as I've made it across. Ladies and gentlemen, milkmaids and mermaids, this is the break of the day, and I've made it, and I could also win it. All right, so we should take this time to talk a little bit about who's actually in this break, the makeup, who the riders are. Let's give people a bit of a round of applause for getting across to this one. So number 151, it's the one and only Oscar von Huis, riding from the Nostromo team. 210 on the right-hand side there. That's Dill Lindsay. Not only is he an extremely strong rider, but he's also a very talented podcastician, if that's a thing. Recently released a podcast called What Matters with Nico and Jack Marshall, who's also in this break. I'll talk about him in a second. Links in the comments. Go and check that out below. In the grey Duda kit we passed a little second ago, that's Logan Taplin. Very strong rider. Number 45 on the left-hand side, that's Paul Speed. Speed by name, speed by nature. And there on the left, is he the number one host? I'm not too sure. Jack Marshall, again, from the What Matters podcast. Then there's me, little Steve, and on the front right now, I think that would be Taj Hindel. And on the right-hand side, that's James Maxted, normally in full UAE kit. I love to see it. I'm all for it. That's the makeup of the break. So we have almost all individual riders. A couple of team members are grouped in there as well. It's very handy to have at least one Nostromo guy in the mix, because generally they're the biggest group down at Glenvale. So it's nice to know they're not going to be chasing us back. But to be honest with you, we don't have to worry about that. If you look in the rear cam, it is daylight to the peloton behind us. You are not going to see them for the rest of this race. They may as well park it up ahead of the cafe early. This race is done and dusted with 11 Ks left. Who do you think's going to be the biggest pest in the peloton? Who's going to pull the strongest turns? You're going to have to wait and see. But this race is definitely not over yet. All right, so I've just pulled off doing the biggest turn that Glenvale's ever seen. Now is the best time, as the rest of the breakaway rides past you, to get a bit of a look at the rest of the rider's face. Have a good look deep into their eyes. You can see if you can spot any weakness or pain. Really important to do that to gauge how the group is operating, to see if your turns are too hard, maybe back it off. And remember, we are a team in this sort of thing, so it's still 10 Ks left. There's still plenty of time to be caught, so you don't want to be just riding everybody off your wheel and then getting caught with 2 Ks to go. You want to keep it smooth and fast, and that's what we're doing. That's the name of the game here. Okay, so we're almost under 4 Ks remaining. This is where things start to unravel. So Dill Lindsay just ripped a really nice turn off the front, but the pace is still pretty high. We're at 50 Ks an hour. As you see, we rip it around corner number 2. Look at the distance. Where's Dill going? He's going backwards. This is danger signs, or is it? Or is this just a Coach Pinnacle full foxing sort of tactic that's going on here. Don't know if I'm a fan of that. Dill, let us know in the comments below what you're planning here, mate. Would love to hear about it. Because I'm just calling as I see it. And I just see Logan, who just slotted in behind me. Dill, you just skipped a turn. I'm calling you out. There it is. I've called you out. You've just skipped a turn. Who's next? Who's the next rider to be skipping a turn here? I think you all know. No one can hide with Fresh Crits when he's running the cameras. Have a look here. I've just pulled a turn. And here I am letting Dill roll through. And look who just gives the wheel up. Look who gives the wheel up. Yep. Number Pinnacle, Jack Marshall. They're colluding here. I'm calling him out, and look at the pain face. Oh, I'm in so much pain. This is so hard. This is much harder than Pro Velo League. Mate, I'm calling you out. There it is. That is absolute rubbish from you, Jack Marshall, but let's see who the next person to pull that sort of garbage will be. Stay tuned. Now, it looks like with almost under 2Ks left, Logan is sick of the foxing that's going on here, and he's decided to just go all in and try to stay away. It's a brave move, but you got to admire it. And look at Marshall in the background. He is full of lip. Full of lip. And do you know what I say to him? I say, Marshall, don't F this up like you did last week, and stay tuned. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, because that is a great video of another breakaway we kind of get. And look at him just flicking the elbow. He's 100% in on the game, and I love to see it. He's a great guy, and whatever happens on the racetrack stays on the racetrack, and that's what I love about him. All right, so with 1.7 Ks left, oh, we're getting so close. Logan is still off the front, holding a tasty little... Well, it's a nibble-sized gap, I suppose. Probably only a couple of seconds that anybody could kind of sprint across that. But as soon as you see the riders going across the road like this, and you're that breakaway rider, keep going, son, because you're not caught yet. Well, now you are, but I think you get what I mean. There's always the opportunity that the group will just completely sit up, and that rider will just continue going on their merry way, and that gap will grow from 1 second to 3 seconds to 5 seconds to 10 seconds, and all of a sudden, they're around the corner. You're never going to see them again. Speedy's flicking the elbow here. He wants me to come through. I think we're coming into last lap, ladies and gentlemen. Last lap is upon us. And that is signified by Brian on the left-hand side, ringing the bell. Ding, ding, ding. It is last lap, and this is the race. A lot of flicking of elbows behind. This is where I take a really wide line. I want to get off the front. I do not want to be, here's the bad spot for me to be, so I swing nice and wide, and I want to sit a couple of wheels back. So I've drifted back into probably 5th place here. Not too bad. It's still plenty of time to move up. But you need to watch who's going on in the rear cam, because they're going to get a run up at this. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, specifically the one at Wagga Nationals, you see Adrian go from a flyer about 30 wheels back and ends up coming second. So you need to be mindful of who is at the back. Speedy's got no choice. This is his move. He's left it too late. He's not a sprinter, so he's just having a hope he can send a little bit of a flyer here with the hope no one chases him. But of course, with 400 meters left, everyone's going to be chasing him. That's 100% sure. Logan looks like he's going to be leading out the sprint. I'm going bar to bar with Taj here. And with 200 meters to go, you have to open up your sprint. This is it. This is where you drop all the watts. You need to get aero, and you need to put down as much power as you can. And we get to the line, and we throw... And with 4 people coming to the line, I am not sure. Nobody is sure who won that bike race. But got a little surprise for you guys. If you've waited this long, I've got some exclusive footage just for us that I want to show you of exactly who won this sprint and by how much and how close it actually was. All right, let's roll it. So it's in super slow-mo, rolling in here, and there it is, clear as day. Oscar, the climber, who would have thought, takes out A-grade win at Glenvale by the tightest of margins. But a win is a win, and that is a huge one for him to get. I take out second, Marshall third once again. What a bike race that was. I hope you enjoyed this one. And you know what you need to do if you did is say that 10 times, and also hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, chuck some comments below. We love to see it, and I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.